Yeah, so this is the last section here, and we wanted to. One of the days we got to go to a children's hospital, which is just it was a really cool opportunity where I'll let them kind of fill in stories, but the premise we haven't always been able to go in there, but as you walk in, there's just cribs of small kids, infants, babies all around, and the girls and Natasha and I and the whole team got to just hold different babies. Some it's because they didn't have parents. Some it's because they're really sick. Some it's malnutrition. It could be a variety of reasons. But different than the school and the church we went to, this was a very impacting place and scenario that we got to go to. I'll let them share some stories.
Me? Can I go?
Yeah, please.
Okay. One of my two things that I thought was really sad but happy at the same time. There were two children in the cribs that were really silly, but there was this one particular one that he had like only a couple whole fingers and then a couple just small ones, and he really liked me. The first time I held him, he really liked it, but then when I needed to put him down to go see other kids, because he was the first one I looked at, he just started crying, and I felt really bad.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard, wasn't it? Yeah.
And the second one, he was just really silly. He liked to play peekaboo.
They were, yeah, as much as they were all together, they all seemed to really love the fun, and so a lot of them had really good attitudes being in such a huge room with so many kids. It wasn't like a huge cry fest with all the kids at once. So many loved playing, so it was a pretty unique environment.
Roya, do you have any memories from the Children's Hospital you'd like to share?
Yeah. Me and Dad, once we held some of the, little kids, we went over into, this playground thing in it. And there were, some older kids, like me and Aaliyah's age. But maybe, just a tiny bit younger, more Aaliyah's age and a bit younger. And so, there was one girl who, she would not let me leave when it was time to go. She, kept pulling me back, and she was, crying when I had to leave. The only thing that let her, that made her, stop and let me leave was when I hugged her.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. That's right.
Yeah. I said au revoir to her, which means goodbye in French.
Yeah.
Awesome. You have a song in your head.
I wrote a blog about my experience there, and that involves a little bit about Aaliyah too. But that's online and on my website. Anyway, that's not to make a plug, but just there's some of the story that's already on there. Is there anything else, girls? Any other memories that you would want to share with some of the people?
Even not. Oh,
yeah, about anything. Yeah?
Actually, I have two.
Okay.
My first one is when we were still at the hospital, I was really sick from being on the car rides because the roads were really bumpy. So I threw up in the hospital. I think it's really funny because that's the place where you go, well,
yeah. Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did.
Well, that's where sick people go. So
yeah, it was a place. Yeah.
So, but they really took care of me because it kept coming out, and they got a bucket and they cleaned it up off the floor really quickly, but the funny part was they kept dumping water over my head. It actually felt really good.
Yeah, it was pretty
That's
hot.
my favorite part about that moment.
Right
Dumping
overhead.
water over my head. That's my favorite part about that moment.
It was awesome.
And my second one is just like a little bit after or before. Like, it might have been the same day, I think it was. We went to a beach, and I'm calling it scuba diving, but it's actually just snorkeling. So we had this snorkel, and we were looking at these fish, and it was really cool. And Jane, another girl from our group, it was sad-ish, a moment that probably no one has experienced before. She got scratched by coral.
I think they call it fire coral.
Fire coral. It's like a burn.
It's like, and it's all the way up her arm, but it's this arm.
It was painful.
What are you going to say, Ryan?
She thought that it was a sea urchin at first. There were a lot of sea urchins. So she was just helping Aaliyah, but Aaliyah accidentally, kind of pushed her into the coral.
I don't know that Aaliyah pushed her in.
Push her.
I know. I'm saying, accidentally.
No, I don't. It was more she was
That's what
trying.
it
She
seemed
was helping
like.
out though. Yeah.
Accidentally.
Yeah.
She was leaning on her. Yeah. Well, it happened. She got burned by the fire coral. It was really painful for her. Roya, what did you want to say about that? That was one of your favorites, huh? The snorkeling?
Yeah, the water was perfect temperature, and it was so fun. I stayed with Jane, and Aaliyah stayed with Dad, and we went out really far, and we saw a lot of fish and coral. It was really cool. If any of you guys ever go to Haiti, maybe you could go there sometime.
I forgot what the name of the beach was.
It's the Wesleyan Ortlip Center is where we were.
That was amazing.
If I were adding anything else, a few quick answers to prayer. One was actually just getting to Haiti was an answer to prayer. We really wanted to go as a family to a place like Haiti for the girls to experience that at a young age. So that's a huge answer to prayer. Roya had been praying to see different animals, and on the very last day, she got to see kids playing with a tarantula, which she really wanted to. Aaliyah, we had prayed about her getting to know her strengths, and someone complimented her on her gifts. Yes, this is our answered prayer jar she brought over here. We have different answered prayers in here that we keep. I don't know if Natasha had any specific ones. I know for me, I'd also prayed for a chance to lead someone to Christ or pray for healing. And there was a girl on Friday on a house visit that she had said she had broken her ankle and it was really swollen walking back from church the previous Sunday. So we prayed for it on Friday. And on Sunday she came and the swelling was down. She was praising God and she was worshiping, even walking on it. So that was really cool just to see that answer to prayer as well. So there were a lot of cool just God moments along the way there too.
Yeah, I didn't mention I did get to teach on worship, which was a fun experience because it was supposed to be like a circle of chairs, like a small group, dynamic, and we were trying to really just facilitate a dialogue so that we could really engage with what they even do for worship. And anyway, it became, we showed up and they had put on this whole service. And so I was up there speaking kind of on the fly, more in a service dynamic and with a translator for the first time, which was super fun. So that was a really fun experience. And anyway, it was our first day there, so it was kind of hard to teach on worship. I had no idea really what they even did for their worship yet. So we just went with it, but I think it was just a neat experience to be a part of, and it was just part of us, getting in there and getting to know everybody, and so it was great. And so we had so many great opportunities, and the people were incredible, and definitely one of the most special moments Aaliyah mentioned about her box we were so impacted when all the teachers came in with Pastor Solon, and they honored us in this incredible way, and they gave each of us personal gifts. So even the kids, our name was on all of them. Even Pastor Solon had some to take back for people who had come on previous trips. And anyway, they just, when you do realize when you're there what that costs them, the sacrifice is so much bigger for them to do that. I know. It was really special. So they did such an amazing job picking out personal gifts for each one of us and honoring us at the end of the week, and that was just a very special, emotional time. So there's so much more that hardly even scratches the surface, really, of all that happens when you're there. But we were so blessed, and it was powerful and impactful for our family, and we're so grateful that we got to be a part of it. So we're so thankful to all of you and any of you for supporting us and helping us to be able to do that as a family. And it's just huge and amazing, and we're incredibly grateful. Can you guys say thank you?
Thank you.